Buongiorno.
Buongiorno a tutti. Hello, everybody.
Well, now, last time we spoke, we had just left Castella, and we were getting ready for our jaunt across the infamous Gulf of Squillace.
Yep.
Which I may have slightly jumped ahead the last time and mentioned that this is something that I have been well aware of since the very first time I met Mark in Croatia, when we talked about moving the boat from Croatia to Barcelona. He'd said, yeah, there's a real dodgy bit of water that's infamous, I suppose, isn't it?
Well, it's, yeah, they, in this part of the world, they call it the mini Gulf of Lions. It's a bit like the Gulf de Lyon, but on a smaller scale. Because of the land formation, any wind that comes in from anything with a W in it, basically, west or northwest or north-northwest, it tends to funnel down through the mountains and come out into the Gulf at sort of twice the speed that it's forecast. So you've got 20 knots forecast, it comes out at between 40 and 50. Yeah. And because of the shape of the formation of the sea, or the sea bed, also kicks up a really very nasty, uncomfortable wave pattern. So you've got to be, sort of reasonably careful going across it or choosing your time to go across. Anyway, we looked like we had a good one here. We went from the north, no west in it at all. It was north, northeast, north, northeast. So, always keeping an eye on the wind direction, hoping there's no west comes in. And off we went, and we had the sails up in no time.
Yeah, we did. And
we were bowling along.
Absolutely bombing along at 8.5 knots. And I'm looking at my watch going, God, we'll be across here in no time. It's 40 odd miles.
45 miles
45
across.
Miles.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, brilliant. This is what we want. Engine was performing. We just had our tick over at that point because we were screaming along so quickly. And then the wind dropped as.
We ran the engine at the beginning because we'd spent the night on the fishing dock with no power. So I wanted to make sure we had some the batteries nicely topped up during the trip. And we were sailing. Well, we sailed pretty much the whole way across.
Yeah, we did.
Because we remember we got all the way across. Then we went gull
winging.
Goose wing.
Sets the sail out one side and the bow of the boat, and the main sail out the other.
Yeah.
And she was really well balanced. And we did a little bit of manoeuvring in and about
just to get the best of the wind.
And Zatara followed us behind, and then they did a bit of goose winging as well. But the nearer we got to the point.
The other side of the Gulf.
The other side, the wind just kept dropping, didn't it? And
well, by the time we got to the other side, the sea was flat, and the wind had gone, the sun had come out, and we as we crossed, we'd seen all these big grey clouds ahead of us.
Oh yeah,
right. And we're looking at each other going, are we going to get wet again? Are we going to get wet? It was very funny, actually. As we progressed, the thunder, because the thunderstorms were predicted, but the sky just opened. By the time we got to the other side of the Gulf, it was fantastic. It was beautiful. Clear blue skies. Sea was very calm. Unfortunately,
happy days.
Unfortunately, at that point, we had to rely more on the engine than the sails. I think we left the main up, didn't we? And ditched the Genoa.
Yep.
And then motored down the coast.
Yep. We'd give each other a high five once we get out of the bay.
Squillace,
and that was like a big tick.
Yeah, I was happy to see the back of that.
Yeah, I knew you were, and I was because you were. And psychologically, it was. It was one of those obstacles, if you like, in the way that we knew we had to cross it during the day. We couldn't cross it at night. We weren't going to cross it at night. You could do, but we decided that'd be a little bit foolhardy.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind that it's famous for its wrecks. And there's nowhere along from between La Castella and right the way around.
There's what's it called? Ionica, Rochella Ionica, which is on the other side of the bay.
Yeah.
So that was going to be our jump-in point if things got nasty, but they didn't.
No, and it was a beautiful evening, and we slowly started turning the corner up towards the Straits of Messina as darkness fell.
And we decided at that point, as we got abreast of Rochella Ionica, we decided that we would continue.
Yeah, push on.
Let's push on.
Yeah, we had a good chat about it and the pros and the cons. The wind was in the right direction.
Yep.
It was pretty flat still.
Yep.
And let's go for it. Because it wasn't a foolhardy decision. It was.
So at which point the thing was the pressure was slightly on us because there's quite a strong tidal stream runs through the Straits of Messina. And so we had about a 70-mile ride no, sorry, about a 50-mile ride, sorry, from Roccella Ionica round to the crunch point in Messina, and we had to get around there, and we had an app, didn't we? We had an app that was...
It's called Messina Straits 2023.
Yeah.
And you literally just dial into it the day and the time that you're going to go through the strait.
And it tells you which way the current's going.
And which we did. This has been recommended to us by a couple of guys, delivery crew guys. And we thought, well, this is the dog's bollocks. This is perfect. So we knew that we really had until, being quite precise, was 2:30 in the morning was when the tide would turn and start coming south. So we had tide with us the whole way, going up through this strait. And, you know, the strait, it is quite intimidating as it narrows in.
Yeah.
And you've got these bloody big ferries just going backwards and forwards, and they have right of way, which is kind of a strange thing, but yeah, that's what it is. I mean, it's constant. You know, it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and it's non-stop. So you've got to keep your eyes peeled.
These aren't your cows. These aren't your cows. This isn't your cows. Portsmouth to Cows ferry. These things are huge.
Yeah, Belfast, Liverpool stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
and they tank across at about 12 knots, 13
and they
knots.
don't give them monkey
And that's
feet
it. They go. I mean, they're so big. You think, is that a ship or is that part of the land?
Yeah.
I mean, they're huge.
It was, you know, binoculars out and all sorts. But there was an interesting point. We've had some difficulties, I suppose, is the best way of saying it, with our Speedo. Where it reads low. It underreads all the time, a knot and a half. It gets closer to accurate the faster you go, but slower speeds, it's definitely reads low. But we noticed, I can't remember if it was you or me noticed, but it was reading higher
than our speed
over the ground. And we'd never seen that before. And, you know, initially I was putting it down to, it's just a flipping wanky Speedo again. But the more we sort of thought about it, it just didn't seem right. And luckily,
I said to you, didn't I? I think the app's wrong.
Yeah, he says the app's wrong. And I'm going,
the app's not wrong.
Apps aren't wrong.
The app's wrong.
So you had picked up a website from a guy.
I picked up an Italian
Brindisi, wasn't it?
Yeah, from a guy I met in Brindisi, a guy called. Thank you very much. If you ever get to see this, by the way, Nico, thanks, mate.
Yeah, lifesaver.
You saved us a very painful couple of hours.
Yeah, because we were banging on. You know, the engine revs up to like 2.2.
More than that.
Yeah, 2.5, and we were doing 4 knots over the ground. But the Speedo said we were doing 6.5. Yeah. So, and we had Zatara right up our butt said a much more powerful engine, and they would, you know, the slower we went, the closer they got to us. But Mark had a look at his website, and then he said, right, you look at it now, and we both worked through it, and we both concurred that the app indeed was a complete load of shit.
Yeah. It's wrong. It's totally wrong.
I mean, you couldn't have got more wrong, probably.
No, we were trying to bat through it. We were trying to go through it. Luckily we'd sussed all this out before the real fast
narrow bit.
So I radioed the other boat and I said, look guys, can we? I didn't say that we had a faulty app or anything like that. I just said, look guys, we've got here a bit quicker than we expected. We're going to have to slow down a little bit. And again, Robin's face. Slow down. What's the slowing down thing?
Twice in 2 days, 3 days. You know?
So we have to slow down a little bit. So we actually hit the race as the tide's turning. Yeah. So we slowed down to about 4 knots and for about 2 hours.
Yeah,
wasn't it? 2 hours.
I mean, we
did actually get to we nailed it. We got to the narrow bit as the tide turned, and all of a sudden the 2 speedos matched and then went back to normal again. SOG faster than the speed through the water. So indeed, it was the app that was wrong. Had we just carried on going, we would have got to the very fast race as it was coming against us at 6 knots, and we would have been screwed for a bit. It would have been unpleasant and a bit worrying, because we figured out with his app, if Robin's app was correct and my app was correct, if Robin's app was wrong and my app was correct, then it would make sense. Yeah. And we actually sort of had a look at this and thought, well, if your app says this and my app says this and your app's that many hours out, by the time we get there should be a window where they're both actually right.
Both right, yeah.
At different times, but the tide should be going
roughly,
that way. Yeah. So we shot through the little gap, but we didn't mention as we turned into the strait, we went from 2 knots on the beam to 22 knots on the nose. So we had a bit of a bash up through the straits, to be honest. About 5 hours of 20 knot winds on the nose, which was a bit, disconcerting.
And obviously, getting darker and darker all the time. Well, it was
Yeah,
pitch
pitch
black.
black, you're talking
Yeah,
about.
we just had the lights on either side and lots of lighthouses and lots of ferries backwards and forwards. So it was quite tense. You know, you couldn't relax.
Focus the mind, didn't
Yeah,
it?
you had to be on your toes.
Yeah.
And we eventually got through. Was it around 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning?
Yeah, I think we popped out the other end at about 1:45.
We were fired out. Boom.
Yeah.
And basically then that was us through the top of the Straits.
Yeah.
And then it was a hang a left to Palermo, which was
112?
110, 112 miles on down the coast. And really from there,
We had the sails up, didn't we? So we
sails up for a bit, yeah.
So we sailed most of the night.
Yeah.
In fact, no, we did have we did sail quite nicely actually during the night. We had a bit of engine on just to keep the speed up.
Yeah.
But we were sailing quite well. The moon was out again, which would come back, so we had a bit of light.
Yeah.
And as the night progressed, the sea actually got flatter and flatter.
Yeah.
You went downstairs for a kip, didn't you?
Down for an hour's kip, and which was, you know, just put your head down. It's boom, time to get up again. And that was really the only sleep, because you didn't go down at all, I don't think.
No, you
did
sent me down, didn't
Yeah,
you?
I sent you down eventually.
I was dithering.
It was like, yeah, he was fucking about with the sails, basically. And I said, well, you go to bed. And
I looked at Rob and I said, yeah, I'm not actually much use now. I should go to bed. You're
both
right.
like bloody zombies.
Yeah, I couldn't. I couldn't leave it. The thing about it, I couldn't leave it alone because we'd had a very eventful day, and it gets to a point you think I can't go to sleep. I can't leave this alone now.
Yeah.
And he actually said, "Would you go to bed, please?
Yeah.
You're useless. Go on, go to bed."
It was
so
like-
I did, and it was lovely.
It was like my mother telling me to go to bed, you know, get you to bed now.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that, you know. And
Yeah.
okay. So down you went for a couple of hours, and I got the sunrise.
I came up for sunrise.
Come
didn't
up
I?
for sunrise, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And the clear blue skies, and you know when you're sailing down there, and you've got on the port side you've got
The north coast of Sicily, basically.
Mount Etna. It is
Yeah.
Mount Etna, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the snow over the top, and you know a little bit of smoke coming out of the top, and then out to the north of us was Stromboli.
The Aeolian Islands.
Aeolian Islands. And man, are they just magnificent looking. I mean,
the smoke coming out of Stromboli was smoking.
Yeah.
Volcan was rumbling.
Yeah.
It was glorious, wasn't it?
yeah. And just our troubles just melted into the distant past then, didn't
Well, I
it?
think what it was, we were looking for somewhere to pull in and have a rest. And we went through. The only place that was any good, we were on top of it.
Yeah,
Basically,
it was 5 miles away.
and it was a
less than an hour,
gorgeous
and
day, and the engine was behaving, and it was flat sea. And I looked at Robin and the others on the radio. Said, "Should we pull in? Should we pull in?"
Cool in for coffee.
They wanted to pull in for coffee,
Yeah.
which I thought was a bit surplus.
Yeah.
So I said to Robin, I'm with the team. Let's just fucking go, mate.
Yeah, it's a good day.
Let's keep
Beautiful
going.
day. I mean, not a cloud in the sky. It was glorious.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So we powered down to the wind went. It didn't actually go completely. Do you remember? Because I was sort of weaving a bit, like because it was coming this way. It was coming sort of 60 degrees and 90 degrees and 60 degrees, and we were keeping quite a good speed up. Actually, it wasn't bad at all.
Yes, at one point we were doing like about 7.5 knots.
No,
I remember,
definitely, yeah.
And Satara was away in the distance with this stage. She had powered on a little bit.
No, that was the end.
Yeah,
She was behind
towards the
us
end.
of the day.
Yeah, but towards the end she went on.
At the end she went on, yeah.
Yeah. And I had a lovely experience. I forgot to add that whenever Mark had gone down for a kip, I got some dolphins in the bow. Yeah.
I don't believe him.
Yeah, I
all
do.
right.
And,
they had a ball apparently as well.
It was, but of course, as soon as I got the camera out, I got a few seconds of it. But you know, it was lovely them playing in the bow, and it just made me smile. And all of a sudden, I wasn't tired anymore. And then Mark came up, and I'm trying to remember what we had for breakfast, but it was sumptuous anyway.
I made scrambled egg.
That's right.
With Mexican beans, with chorizo and garlic and tomato
chili.
and Robin's face.
Yeah.
It was
the best.
like I just given him the pool winner's check. Actually,
So you have to remember, you know, I didn't have anything in the fish restaurant except some nice bread. So it was gorgeous, and we had a lovely day.
Yeah, a great day.
It was a lovely day, and as we neared Palermo, we saw the lights, and the sun started to set, and it was just a magnificent sunset. You know, lovely, reflecting off the clouds.
We'd had a few shenanigans during the day because we talking to the other boat, and I said to them, "All right, listen, guys, we've got you," because they basically followed us through they followed us from the get go. We went 5 degrees left and they went 5 degrees left, and 10 degrees port and they went to, it was funny. But so I said, I thought, I'm going to go. They can't just piggyback us the whole way. So I got them on the blower. I said, look, guys, the idea is we're going to stop in Palermo because Robin's wife's going to come out, Dee's going to come out and join us. We're going to pull into Palermo for a day or so. We can't, I don't think, looking at the weather, we can get across. We can't carry on because we've got a Mistral coming between here and Sardinia. So we're going to go into Palermo. Could you guys organise a berth for us?
And they did.
No, they didn't. They totally didn't.
It's just getting funny.
They came back and went, we've got one, but not till tomorrow. And I said, well, that's no use, is it? We'll be there by 9 o'clock tonight. Anyway.
You phoned a few people. We said, oh, yeah, I know you, don't I? Yeah, I've met you before.
Right. The funny thing was, I managed to get them on a berth, but we spent the night at the fuel dock, didn't we?
Yeah. They were in about, not much long before us, half an hour or so. We came in, and it was flat calm. It was beautiful as well, wasn't it? Came in the traffic separation scheme, as you're supposed to do, and came alongside. It was textbook stuff, actually.
Yeah, it was good.
I mean, it was one of the smoothest. If you look at the track, it was just perfectly drawn. We just navved her in and came alongside, tied up, and I mean, we were tied up in
no time
at all, and ready for bed.
Yeah. And here we are. In Palermo. Now waiting for the weather to give us the opportunity to get over to Sardinia, which looks like it might be a couple of days away, actually.
Yeah. So there's been a few favourable ones, and we get your hopes up, and then,
However, there's worse places to be than Palermo, believe me.
Beautiful city, lovely people, and we're safe. That's the most important thing.
Yep. So it's been quite an adventure, actually. The last 24 hours, the previous 24 hours.
Yeah, it's been
quite exciting. We seem to something happened every day, didn't it? Or two.
There's never a quiet moment.
No,
never a quiet moment. But that, we always knew it was going to be an adventure, didn't we?
Yeah.
What we said, it's not a walk in the park.
No, I told you, the Mediterranean in the winter is not to be messed with. Anyway,
that's us, I think, isn't it?
It is.
Until whatever happens next and wherever the wind blows us. I mean, it can only blow us one way because we have to go to Sardinia next.
Yeah, and we thought we had a break actually. Looked like Tuesday was going to be good, Wednesday better, Thursday, Friday, all lovely easterlies, and they've all suddenly started to switch around to the southeast and strengthen to force 8.
Yeah, so we thought,
So it's more pasta.
Yeah, more pasta. Boat's clean. We've got her nicely hosed down and scrubbed. A couple of other wee jobs. Got a topping lift now that leads back into the cockpit. You re-rigged the main halyard, didn't you? You rerouted it.
Yeah.
So we've done lots of little bits and pieces. So that's us. I think it's carbonara tonight, is it? Result.
I'm gonna go make it. Right.
Okay.
See you later.
Talk to you next time.
Ciao.